What's up, YouTube? Happy Thursday. CHF here, bringing you another episode of Coaching Handheld Football. And you guys wanted me to go over my picks for divisional weekend, so we're going to go ahead and do that. I do want to start by sharing and saying, use these at your own risk. I'm going to stop it there, and we'll continue when we get there. But I did go 10 of 12 last weekend. So not perfect, but did pretty well. And I want to tell you guys kind of how I come up with my picks and then what I'm picking. So again, it's a luck thing, guys. So I could end up going 4 of 12. So use these at your own risk. Don't be mad at me if these don't pan out. This is just what I personally think. And the way I formulate my opinions on these is basically I do two things. I look at the stats and tell me what the stats would suggest based on things like how the team has performed against common opponents and against each other, average rushing yards, average passing yards, how their defense does. And then I compare that to basically just my gut feeling. So I will basically think of what do I think is going to happen in the game? Who do I think is going to win the game? How is the game going to play out? So I'm going to go ahead and talk you guys through my picks, why I picked them, and go from there. So we're going to start this one off, guys, with the first set of games here, which is going to be the Patriots game. And I think the Patriots are going to pass for more yards than the Titans. With all the drama and speculation around the Patriots, I think they're going to come out and kill it this game and use it as a statement game. I do think it's going to be a high-scoring game because I think Brady and company are going to put up a ton of points. So I'm going to go with the over here on this one and say that the combined score will be greater than 45 points. And honestly, I think this is going to be a total Patriots blowout. So I also think that the Patriots are going to win on the rushing yards. And here's why, guys. So I think the way I think the game is going to go down is basically I think that the Patriots are going to go up big. And unfortunately, the Titans, while I think they have a better rushing team, I think that they're going to have to abandon the run really early in the game and try to keep up, basically, which I don't think they're going to be able to do. I think they will score some points because the Patriots defense is not as great as somebody like Minnesota. But I think the Patriots are going to win by a lot. And I think that the Titans are going to have to abandon the run. So in the fourth quarter, the Patriots can just kill some clock and slowly get a little bit more rushing yards than the Titans. So I'm going Patriots in both categories as well as the over in this particular game. Next game that we're moving on to, guys, is going to be the Steelers versus Jaguars game. Okay, and I actually think the Steelers are going to win this game, but I think it's going to be a closer game, and my picks are not going to be the same as last time. So we'll go ahead and get into the picks. So as far as passing goes, I think Big Ben, despite throwing 5 picks in the last game, I think he's going to have a good game and he's going to throw for more yards. As far as the over-under, I think this is going to be a tight game, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. So I am going to pick the under on this one. And I do, however, think that the Jaguars are actually going to get better rushing yards in this game. I think it's going to be close, but I do think that the Jaguars are going to rush and get more yards in the game. And part of that is because I think that they're going to come out run heavy, and basically it's going to be a lot of run heavy in the beginning. I think Big Ben's going to get the passing yards hands down. But I do think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm thinking probably in like the 17-14 would probably be my prediction there. So moving on to the next game here, guys, we've got the Eagles versus the Falcons. And straight up, Carson Wentz isn't there for passing. Matt Ryan is the guy. He's going to pass for more yards without a doubt. I do actually think, and some people may disagree with me, I'm taking the under here. I think it's going to get close to 45 points, but I don't think it's going to go over 45 points. And I think the Eagles are actually going to rush for more yards, mainly because they really don't have much of a choice. Nick Foles is not Carson Wentz. And as much as the Eagles have had a good season, I think the Falcons are going to take this game. And I think that the Eagles will get some more rushing yards early, but I do think that they're going to win the rushing yards with the Falcons taking it through the air and ultimately taking home the W. So the final game is going to be the Saints versus the Vikings game. And here, I think that the Saints are going to rely on Drew Brees, and they are going to take the passing yards hands down. Even though Minnesota's got a good passing defense, I also think that this is going to be a low-scoring game, probably a combined score around 35-40. And then finally, I think the Vikings are actually going to win the rushing yards. So I selected the Vikings to win the rushing yards. And the reason being is I think that they are going to be in a situation where they're going to try to kill the clock and keep the ball out of Drew Brees' hands. I do think the Vikings are going to win because I said it much earlier in the season. My Super Bowl pick are going to be the Vikings versus the Patriots. And Tom Brady, as much as I don't like him as a player, or I don't like him and I don't like the Patriots, I mean, you can't argue. He's the best quarterback ever to play the game, and I think he's going to start on his second hand as far as rings go. So those are my picks, guys. Let's go ahead and hop into some coaching with a rather unique challenge today. All right, guys, we are going up against Motor City Madmen, ranked 1,376 in the world. I am going up against this 101 defense right here. And a shout out to Shamar2K. He actually gave me the suggestion for what challenge we're going to do today in the drives. And what we are going to do is basically run whatever plays we want, but we are going to flip them from the normal direction that we would like to run them. So whatever play I want to use, I can't run it the way I want to run it. I have to run it the opposite. So if it's trips corner strike where I would normally run it to the right, I got to run it to the left. If it's basically just whatever play it is. So this is actually going to be an interesting challenge. And I'm going to start it off with trips corner strike flipped. So we've got a 4-3 zone here. So I'm going to be looking to go to either Evans or Crabtree in this case. So the Crabtree is countered, so we're going to hit Evans. And we do manage to make that work. These kind of cross-body throws. So normally I would like to run PA slide to the right. So I would normally flip it. So here I'm not going to flip it. So the big difference is I'm basically going to be throwing to the left and running to the right in most cases. So we're either going to hit the fullback or the tight end here. Looks like we're going to go to the fullback. Since he's what's open, let's see if we can spin out of that, which we do, and unfortunately can't make anything happen after the broken tackle. So normally I would flip spread PA outs, so here we will not flip it. So in this case, if I'm going to the normal receivers here, if we get cover 2, I'd go to Crabtree. If not, I'm going to go to Evans. We don't get cover 2. That's a floater, and boy, that is a hard challenge. I didn't want to throw that, and I'm definitely not used to throwing it that direction. So well done, Shamar, for making a rather difficult and challenging challenge. Because I don't think I've ever ran that play not flipped. The coverage was definitely a little bit different. Tried to float it because I saw that he was there, and it just wasn't quite enough. So we're going to go ahead and take this one, and we'll try and do something similar here. So I'm going to not go from this. I'm not going to go with trips corner strike this time. Let's go trips tight end wide receiver corner. I normally would go to the tight end here on that out route or the running back, but I'm going to try, since it's flipped and I like that route, I like the right side of the field. I just normally am afraid to run it. I'm going to try to go to Carmichael here. No, that's not open, so I'm not going to just force the throw when it's not there. So we're just going to take that up. 2nd and 3. I am going to go with trips tight end halfback counter to the left. As you guys know, I normally run it to the right, although with run plays, it really doesn't particularly matter if you flip it most of the time. So here we go. We're on the left hash, and we are going to go with what do we want to go with here? Let's test some of the play action plays. Let's go strong eye twins PA fullback flat. This is counter formation here, and we are getting blown up with a 22% hard counter. 2nd and 13. We're going to go bunch dive here.
And we managed to get that out for a big 3rd and inches, or a big almost first down. Sets up 3rd and inches. I would normally want to run flipped spread FL drag, but here I'm just going to run spread FL drag since I can't flip it. So we will see if I go to Crabtree. I may try to hit Carmichael as a just different option. And that does not work. So normally I would want to flip fullback flare. However, fullback flare, if you don't flip it, does not work as well. So I am going to actually go with toss. I would normally flip it, so I'm not going to flip it. And we're going to see if we can go ahead and get the first down with toss. Which we do. The stiff arm saves us. We were going to get hit in the backfield, but thankfully the stiff arm saves us. We're going to go to bunch PA pin deep here, and we are either going to hit Evans on that deep post route or Gates in the flat, all dependent on whether Xavier Rhodes drops into the flat or goes deep. We got Evans deep, and we take it. Next, guys, let's try PA tight end corner. Once again, going to the left, not my ideal place to go. We're either going to go to Fournette or Gates. Fournette's covered, so we're going to Gates. And we are up to about the 10-yard line. We will go with trips, tight end, quick slants, flipped this time. And we're once again going to go to Gates, but he's going in kind of the opposite side of the field. And we are up to about the 3 or 4 yard line here. Sets up a 2nd and goal. What do we want to run? Let's go with a weak eye triple post, but we will flip it. All right, it is potentially countered here. In fact, it's going to be countered here. On a 17% counter. Let's see, are we outside of the 6? We are now outside of the 6. So we are going to go with... Oh, I'm not liking these. This is a hard challenge, Shamar. I'm really struggling with this a lot more than I thought I would. We're going to go trip strong flood flipped and see what we can get here. And we hit Tyron Smith for a touchdown. All right, that feels a little bit better. So I am going to go with flipped bunch spacing. Hopefully it's not going to be too much of an issue here. So we are in for the 2-point conversion. I was a little worried if we hit the counter. Not going to lie. Although theoretically it should work. But boy, that was an awfully painful challenge, especially since I didn't really hit that many counters. Just playing the opposite way of your normal play style, I would have not thought it was as challenging as it is. Just by thinking about it, it's kind of like, all right, well, instead of rolling right, roll left, and instead of rolling, instead of running one way, run the other way. But I welcome you guys to give this a challenge, or give this challenge a try, and let me know what you think about it in the comments. Let's try a bomb. I think this might be a way to exploit it. So I normally wouldn't run PA clear. I normally run PA clear outs, not flipped. So we're going to flip it here. And since they both have basically streak routes that are one-on-one, flipping it almost shouldn't matter. And we get Harold Carmichael for a big, big, big gain. We are up to about the 20. So I kind of was being cheesy there, not going to lie. So we will go back to, let's go bunch PA pin deep, flipped again. So we're either going to go to Gates or Evans. The read is going to be this corner. If he drops into a flat, we are going to hit Evans. If not, we're going to hit Gates. So we're going to hit Gates quickly. And we get kind of clobbered after our first broken tackle. So it's going to set up a 1st and goal from about the 8-yard line. I normally like to run double counter to the left, so we're going to run double counter to the right, which does not end well for us. Not one bit. And this is going to be an interesting one. I don't run it too much, but it is a good play. I would normally not flip bunch Z cross in. We are going to flip bunch Z cross in. We've got man coverage here. So I may try to go to Carmichael on that out route, or I may try to scramble here. And look at that. Just throws it right past him. Nothing useful there. Sets up a 3rd and goal. Where are we at? We're at about the 9-yard line. We're going to go trip strong flood here. Oh, and we barely get it in there. But we do get it in there. All right, so we're going to flip bunch spacing. All right, counter formation. Don't know if it's countered, but we're going to be ready. And we get that in there for 16 on the day. So there it is, guys. A rather interesting challenge. That was a lot harder than expected. Sorry for kind of fumbling through it. I'll be honest. I normally am a little bit smoother at playing the game, but it just felt very, very, very off to do that. So Shamar, thank you so much for suggesting this challenge. It was definitely interesting. Feel free to let me know how it works if you guys want to try it. And let's go ahead and hop into the outro.
So there it was, guys. Sorry for the long video today, but I wanted to be pretty thorough in telling you not only what my picks were, as well as why I picked them. And ultimately, the challenge ended up being harder than I thought it would be. And it just took me a while to kind of get used to it and feel comfortable getting in my rhythm. Sorry I dropped a drive and only put up 16 today, but it is what it is. If you like this video or what I'm trying to do here on the channel, go ahead and hit that like button. If you are new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see what I drop, when I drop it, go ahead and hit that bell icon to join the notification squad. I love you guys. You are the best audience ever. I will see you tomorrow. CHF out.